Okay, our fourth and final speaker for the evening will be Howard Litwack. Howard will be working on a speech from the Advanced Communicator series, Persuasive Speaking. Persuasion is a process used to influence the thoughts and actions of others. Nowhere is the persuasive process more evident than in the sales profession. If you are not a salesperson, you, as a consumer, are a participant in the sales process whenever you make a purchase. This project is designed as an introduction to the persuasive process. The objectives are to learn a technique for selling an inexpensive product or service, recognize a buyer's thought process in making a purchase, elicit information from a prospective buyer through questions, and make an appropriate recommendation. Assisting Howard with this presentation will be Rick Noel. Howard's speech is titled Selling Toastmasters. It is an 8 to 10 minutes presentation. Please help me welcome Howard Litwack.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Boy, I'm glad I wrote my own introduction, seeing as how we introduce people. Persuasion and influence is something that we all use every day. It's how we influence the thoughts and actions of others. And it's not just reserved for those in the selling profession or who have the role of professional seller. It is most evident in this profession, though. As consumers, we all allow ourselves to be influenced or not whenever we need to make a purchase of any significance, like larger than a bottle of water. There's a buying process that everybody goes through before they make any purchase. And you might not have put words to it or not, but you went through this process the last major purchase that you made. Sellers can influence the buying process by understanding and having mastery of how people buy, and then tailoring their sales process to help their prospect meet the objectives that the buyer needs to meet at each stage of their buying process. It's so subtle. It's so powerful. It's persuasion and influence at its highest and best use. Here's what the buying process looks like. The first thing anybody buys is a salesperson, right? This is about the seller's ability to create a good first impression and to be liked and to establish rapport. The next thing is a company. Any buyer wants to develop confidence in the company's ability to be able to deliver as promised. Third is the product or service. Will it satisfy the want or need that the buyer has? Fourth is price, part of every decision, right? Buyers need to decide if they can afford it and if it's a good value. And fifth is timing. So the buyer needs to decide, is the timing right, or can I kind of postpone this decision and do something else with my money? Prospective buyers decide on all of these things and in that order. Anybody can influence a purchase decision by helping the buyer make a positive decision on all of these. You do that, now you've got a sale. My objective now is to demonstrate to you live the persuasive process in selling. And this is really kind of an easy project for me because this is what I help people do in my business. So watch and enjoy now as I turn a guest in our Toastmasters Club into a member. Rick? Hi, welcome to our club. Howard Litwack.
Nice to meet you, Howard.
And your name is?
Rick Noel.
Rick, we're glad you're here. What brings you in tonight?
Well, I saw the Toastmasters Club website and I thought it looked great, so I thought I'd come in and meet the club and see what Toastmasters in this club is all about.
Great. What do you do for a living?
I'm an internet marketer, so I help people connect with their constituencies who are searching for the products and services online.
And why is being a better speaker important to you?
Because in my business, I also interact with other businesses who are looking to make some kind of change in their business, and that usually involves an investment in a website or social media. And so I'm speaking with people and trying to learn how to be a better speaker and a better salesperson.
Okay. How would you rate your presentation skills now?
I would say that I'm an okay presenter, that I have room for improvement, but I'm comfortable speaking in relatively small groups. It's bigger groups or speaking with executives one-on-one that can be a challenge sometimes.
So if you could improve your ability in those areas, what would it mean for your business?
Well, if I could close more business, that might potentially mean opening up a bigger office, hiring employees, maybe being able to enhance my standard of living.
And if you enhance your standard of living, what would that look like?
That could mean another motorcycle, maybe more traveling, a nicer car perhaps, new toys, iPhone, iPad, those kinds of things.
Right. And is there any negative consequences to you? Is there anything that you won't be able to do if you kind of say status quo and you don't improve your ability to talk to executives and to larger groups?
I just think that it's more of an opportunity cost, because I'm happy at where I'm at now, but I also feel that if I can improve these skills, that I can take my business to the next level.
So it sounds like there's a pretty big upside, and that there's also a pretty big downside from what I'm hearing also. So let's say that I was able to, or that Toastmasters had a proven process over the last 100 years that helps build a foundation for better speaking and more confidence. Do you think that would help you accomplish your goals of being a better speaker?
It sure sounds interesting, something I'd like to learn more about.
And if we had a group of 12 to 18 people at every meeting who shared the common goal of being better speakers and better communicators and better leaders, do you think that would get you the level of support that you need?
Without question, especially if there's people that have a lot of experience that can help me take it to the next level, people that are experienced presenters that have experience in the areas that I want to grow.
Right, which we have a club that has people from beginning speakers to people that have been here for 18 years. I've seen people, Rick, come through the doors of this club who would literally shake giving their first speech, and seeing them turn into competent, confident speakers. And it sounds like that's something that you want to become more of, right?
Absolutely value that as a leadership enabler and as a business enabler and just as a personal enrichment perspective.
And if I told you that you could get the proven process and the support of the club for all of $120 a year, would you think that's a good value?
I would think that was a phenomenal value.
Wow, great. So is it something that you think you'd want to do? Because I have an application right here.
Oh, awesome.
Just
yeah.
press hard, 3 copies.
Do you guys take credit cards?
We absolutely do.
Excellent.
Or do we?
I'm
No,
on.
we don't.
It says Amex, so I'm here.
We'll figure out how to pay. Rick, I know that we can help you be a better speaker.
I'm really looking
and
forward.
a better leader. Great. We'll be glad to have you in the club.
Thanks, Howard. I appreciate your time.
Great. So, Rick, before you go, and this is kind of as part of the project, just to open this up to the group, and I'll direct this to Rick first. How did you feel as we went through that?
I thought that you were able to pinpoint a lot of the things that were interesting to me, that I felt like you were talking to me and not giving me a broad brush canned sales pitch. It was tailored to what you thought my needs were and what would interest me and how that would add value to my experience, and tied that to my goals.
What did you guys think?
I love the fact that, especially the salesperson watching when the sales guy goes on, love the fact that you made it about him. He was the one talking. It was all about him. You almost didn't
didn't
say
say
anything.
anything.
It was all about Rick. That was really, really good, and I'm sure Rick felt incredibly good about that.
And that's part of the persuasive process, is when you can make somebody feel good, they start to like you more. And that's one of the goals, is to have the people like you, pay attention to your prospect. That's persuasion and influence again at its best. Any other comments?
Now, what would you do now, like me? I would look at that and say that was rapid fire questions coming at me, and I would just back off way far.
See, and that's knowing the person that you're talking to.
Yeah.
And if I sensed that, I would have slowed things down as part of building rapport. But we had a conversation, he was answering the questions, so
Yeah.
I felt it was fine to kind of go on with that line of questioning. But very valid point. And that's almost opposite persuasion, to drive somebody away, which can be done very easily.
Would you ever interject your own opinions in that kind of situation? Like,
I guess it depends on if I wanted to make the sale or not.
yeah.
and how polarizing the opinion was. I mean, I might say something, I think this will really help you, and here's why. Okay, so that is our time. Rick, thank you very much.
Thank you, Howard. Let's take a couple of minutes now to.
John, can you hand me that evaluation form by Holly's computer there?
What's this?
Although you can hand me the pen too, actually, the evaluation form.